Today is the 27th of the 6th, 2023, and we want to talk about percentages. Okay, before I continue this lesson, we've been talking about fractions, and I'll give you a tip here which you should never forget. You can change decimals into fractions and into percentages, and you can change percentages into decimals and into fractions. Okay, all these are interlinked. Okay, solving maths will start getting exciting now because of all the things we are learning. Because when we start using all the things we know, the concept we know, to solve questions and make it simpler to get answers, you realize how easy math is and how you can easily use one concept to insert into another to solve a complex equation, okay, or a complex question, okay, and get your answer easily. Now, as I said, percentages are fractions with denominators of 100. Okay, that is what it is. So if I say 21%, then what I'm saying is 21 over 100. Okay, if I say 43%, it's 43 over 100. And if I say 92%, it's 92 over 100. Now, what do we use percentages for? We can use it to compare proportions. Like, this is 72% of wheat and 40% of rice, or 20% of sugar. Okay, so we can use that to compare proportions. Okay, we can use it in a survey result. So they can come out and say that 52% of females in the United Kingdom are Christians. Okay. Or 30% of the population in the United Kingdom have cancer or undergoing cancer treatment. So straight away with that figure, it makes more sense to you than if they should say that, oh, we have 560 something people. That is a big figure. But if they say to you 30% of children are not performing in school, then you realize that 3 out of 10 children are underperforming. So you can easily make sense of that. And as I just said, the school pass rates. So if maybe GCSE comes out and then they say that 75% of the GCSE rates, a student got A to C grade, then you can realize that, oh, okay, 75%, or if they say 90% of males got A to C grade compared to last year, 91%, then you realize that, oh, 95 and 91, so there's an increase of 4%. Okay. Pay rises, assuming there's a strike and they said, oh, we are going to increase pay by 5%, then you can easily see, or maybe by 6.5%, or by 3%. Okay. Discounts. This happens in shops per lot. So they can say 10% off. So 10% off means if it's £100, then you are getting £10 off. If it's £10, you are getting the pound off. Okay. If it's 5% off, that is half of 10%. So whatever you get for 10%, you divide it again. That will be your 5%. I've spoken about discount. It happened in shops. And then interest rate. This is the important bit if you want to check your card usage. So interest rates on savings accounts. So if they say 4% interest rate over a fixed account of 5 years, then you know that if you keep your money in the bank, you have to keep it for 4 years before you can get the 4%. Or if they come and say that 27.5% on credit card, then you have to think twice whether you can afford it or not before you go for it. So this is some of the things that we use percentages to gauge, and it makes more sense this way when this language is said than to give large, huge numbers, which means nothing to the average human being. Okay, and even politicians, it doesn't make sense to them unless you say it in a percentage form, then they can compare. Okay, so this is how they compare inflation. So to say that as at last year, April, inflation was at 2%, and this year is at 8%. So they realize that, oh, the economy is going downhill and we have to do something about it. Okay, now look at, we want to find percentage values of money or figures. You remember we did powers of 10, and we said 10 is to 10 to the power 1, 100 is the power 2. So 1 over 10 is 10 minus 1, 10 to the power minus 1. 1 over 100 is 10 to the power minus 2. 50% is half. Okay, it's the same as half, or 50 over 100, which is half. I hope I'm clear on that. I'm just trying to quickly recap before we look at some questions. Okay, now you can do percentage questions. You can have percentage questions in the non-calculator paper or in the calculator paper. In the non-calculator paper, you don't have a calculator. So this is how you go about it. You know 100% is the full amount. So 50% is half of the amount. 25% is a quarter of the amount. So let's look at this example. Find 75% of £640. Straight away, your answer should be in pounds. Okay, now 75% is the same as 50 add 25. Now 50% is half. So half of 640 is 320. Now you know 50%. So if you want to find 25%, 25% is half of 50. So 25% will be half of 640, will be half of 50, which is 320, and it will give you 160. So now 75% is 20, add is 50, pardon me, add 25, which is what we solved earlier. 320 add 160, which I have written here. And it's easier to add here. So 320, 300 plus 100 will be 400. 20 add 60 will be 80. So our figure is 480. But remember, the question started in pounds. So your answer should end up in pounds. So your answer is 480 pounds. Now here we are allowed to use the calculator, so we may find a question like this in a calculator paper. But look, they've asked us to leave our answer to 2 decimal places. We've done decimal places and we've looked at significant figures. So let's look at the question. We are finding 3.5% of 4.1 kilograms. So maybe a weight in a gym or something. We don't know what it is, but they said 4.1 kilograms. So our answer, we are going to leave it in 2 decimal places and in kilograms. Okay. If here you write pounds, you are wrong, because it means you are not following what you are doing. The question is in kilograms, so you leave your answer also in kilograms. Now let's look at it. 3.5% of 4.1 kilograms. So we have 3.5 divided by 100. We said off from body mass is 4.1 is times, and then 4.1 kilograms. Now, do you remember we said if you have 3.5%, 100 here is 10 to the power 2. Okay, but it's 1 over 100, so it's 10 to the power minus 2. So if we write 3.5, we are going to move the decimal places 2 places backwards. So 1, 2. We did this in one of the videos, powers of 10. Okay, times 4.15 kilograms. Now we can use the calculator to find 0.035 times 4.415 kilograms. It's not 4.15, it's 415 kilograms. So our answer from the calculator is 14.525 kilograms. But the question says, leave your answer to 2 decimal places, and we've done that as well. So 14.525 becomes 14.53 kilograms to 2 decimal places. Let's look at another non-calculator paper. Find 65% of 150 grams of plain flour. Now, from what we've done, 65% is 50%, which is half, 10%, which is 1/10, 5%, which is half of 10%. Okay, so 50% of 150 is half of 150 grams. So half of 150 grams equals 75 grams of plain flour. That is half. The next one, we are going to look at 10% of 150 grams. 10% on 150 grams is 1/10 of that. So if you divide 150 into 10 parts, you are going to get 15 parts each, because 15 times 10 is 150. Okay, so that is the 10%. Now 5% of 150 is half of 10%. Half of 10% we just found to be 15. So half of 15 will be 7.5 grams. So now we found 65, we found the 50% figure, which is 75. We found the 10%, which is 15, and we found the 5%, which is 7.5. So now 75 add 15 is 90. Add 7.5 is 97.5 grams of plain flour. So this is our answer, 97.5 grams of plain flour. The last question, which is a calculator question. So if you are in a non-calculator paper, I've just shown you how to break down your percentages to get your answer. Now, if you are in a calculator paper, 2.3% of 150 grams. Okay, so you can put 2.3%, but if you put 2.3 times 150, you are going to get the wrong answer. So first of all, you have to understand 2.3% is the percentage. The fraction is 2.3 over 100. Okay, so 2.3 over 100 is the same as 2.3, and we said powers of 10. 100 is 10 to the power 2. So if we write 2.3, okay, now we are going to move our decimal places 2 places forward, because this is dividing. So if we want to multiply, it will become 10 to the power minus 2. So we have 1, 2. So our answer now will be not 0.023. Now with 0.023, we put that in the calculator and multiply by 150. If you do these questions over and over again, it shouldn't take you that long. So this is what we are going to put in the calculator: 0.023 times 150. So the answer we got is 3.45 grams of sugar. Okay, to 2 decimal places, because it says we should leave our answer to 2 decimal places. If they say leave your answer in 1 decimal place, then we are going to leave it as 3.5. Okay, but here we are being asked to just leave our answer to 2 decimal place, as is said in the question here. Okay, so this brings us to the end of today's lesson. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next lesson.